Alright guys, welcome back to I Suck at Hearthstone. Or at least that's what I used to call this. I haven't done it in a while, so I don't really know what to call it anymore, because I haven't really been into Hearthstone as much as I was back when I started this, so I was thinking maybe I should call this Hearthstone Storytime, or Hearthstone in life. Really doesn't matter to me. But I'm gonna play for you guys and talk about some shit. So let's get to it. Before I do, I must fix this deck because it's just rather atrocious. Yeah. There's a deck. There's a card in here that really doesn't fit. And it's called a tiny something or other. Dude, I keep drawing it and it gets in my way. And whenever I come into the deck, I all of a sudden now here it is. So you were a 2. You know what? Let me see if there's anything better. You know, maybe I'm just an idiot. I think I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so right now, we are currently ranked 21 star. See how good I am at this game? So awesome. Okay, so what to talk about? So, I don't know if anybody out there knows this, but you know how if any of you spend any time on Facebook, and a lot of us do, there are a lot of people that are somewhat criticizing players of Pokemon Go for being too old to play, all this other garbage, right? So
I am your
this kind of reminded me of a conversation I had with a friend of mine via Facebook that I used to feel like I could be pretty open with, but back when the the last Avengers movie was out, he basically posted something that said, anyone who watches superhero movies or plays video games is just infantile, and we need to grow up and be real men. And I have a problem with that, because as some of you might know, I studied game design and computer animation, and I really love those things, despite the fact that my own personal skill set has withered from non-use. But the implication being that I'm not a real adult because I play video games is just fucking ludicrous. First of all, people who say that, in my opinion, are either afraid to like the things that they like, so they start liking the generic shit their friends are into. Like, I've seen some of my friends start to like sports that they really like sports because that's what their coworkers are into, and all they really want to do is fit in. And I'm not knocking them for it. I understand social pressure. I'm just saying, like, why be ashamed of what you genuinely enjoy doing just to fit in with another crowd? I mean, basically what you're telling me is that your mentality hasn't grown out of high school and you haven't gotten comfortable with yourself. So, I've always liked computer animation, like Toy Story in 1995 or 90. Wait, no, 93. No, 95, 96, somewhere around there. Blew my freaking mind. Like, I knew I wanted to learn some computer animation. I was deluded into thinking that I was going to work for Pixar by now. And I've applied several times, and like a couple times I got close to an interview, but let's just say I didn't make that. And I've always loved video games for the fact that they're enjoyable pieces of entertainment I grew up with, and they are how I built my first social circles. They're a thing that my brother and I still do, so we can have time to talk to each other, whether online or in person. I mean, it's part of my personal social fabric. So to tell me that I shouldn't do that anymore because I'm supposed to be an adult is just freaking ludicrous. So my message out there to you guys is that if you love something that much, dude, keep doing it. No, nobody in their right mind should be able to tell you what the hell kind of hobbies you should have. Love what you love. If you love comic books, I mean, dude, I have quite a number of friends who are the same age as I am, and they absolutely love comic books. And when they look at them, they see a way for artists and storytellers to give their commentary about what's going on in the world without distancing themselves from the world by taking an overtly political stance. Some do both, some don't. And if you look at comic books as a sociological phenomenon, many times, whether we know it or not, the comic books that'll come out will be a direct result of what is actually happening in the world. If you look at them in the right way and you look at a broad spectrum, you'll start to see traces of things that were really going on. So don't be ashamed of that. Just love what you love, do what you want to do, because you know what, dude, life is far too short to give a shit about what somebody else tells you should or shouldn't be doing. Also, I make almost no money writing books, so take that as you will. Another thing I actually wanted to talk about is Pokemon Go. And for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book about doing Gimpy. I call it the Gimpy Monologues. People really seem to like it, so if you're interested in it, I'm working on content for another YouTube channel.
You asked for it.
That ties directly into that sort of message. But if you just love the gaming shit, stay for the gaming shit. It's fine. I still love you. So, here's the thing. Pokemon Go is quite often used by the media to scare the shit out of people because we get stories of people being arrested for being in a weird place and then finding out they're playing the video game, and then they get released, or they stepped off a cliff because they weren't watching the video game, or they got hit by a car. And you know, that sucks, but if they were kids, please be with young children while they're playing Pokemon Go. They shouldn't be walking around alone to get jumped in the first place, or to get hit by a car, or whatever. Like, it just shouldn't be happening. Another thing about that is
buying or selling.
If they were adults, I mean, come on, people. You got to learn to look out for yourselves. I mean, the game even says, be careful of your surroundings. I mean, how much clearer can you be? So, that aside, if you love the game, play the game. Because you will probably enjoy the crap out of it some more. But what I wanted to talk about was the idea that it could actually be good for something. And by that I mean that it's actually proven to be helpful in some cases to people on the autism spectrum, which, by the way, I find myself on.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Deal.
Giddy up!
So here's the thing. Kids on the spectrum, regardless of where on the spectrum they are and what their diagnosis is, often have a very difficult time with social situations. Trust me, it's pretty hard. So, what's going on is that these kids have been given an outlet through which to form social bonds that they didn't have before, which I think is totally cool. So before people start knocking a game for, turning people into zombies, you also have to consider the good it's doing in the world, because it is doing a lot of good. There's a meme going around that's like, oh, if you're addicted to alcohol, it shows a picture of an alcoholic, what an alcoholic is typically perceived to look like, and by the way, they don't always look like that, so take that with a grain of salt as well. And then they shows what someone typically looks like addicted to meth, and they look all fucked up in a different kind of way, right? And then beyond that, they have like what someone looks like on Pokemon Go, and the dude's like was fat and is like super fit because he spends time walking around. That's one thing that it's doing, is it's getting people to go outside, dude, and like spend time with each other. And you know, man, honestly, dude, like, how is that bad?
The Frost Wolves stand ready.
Here we go! Is this really necessary? Is this really necessary?
So again, dude, love what you love. Let life be life. I mean, because somebody might be into a hobby that seems really juvenile, right? But you gotta remember, you don't always know why that person loves it. There might be something in it for them that they otherwise wouldn't have. Like, I know for some people, they collect certain things because they trigger very good memories for them. Other people play Magic the Gathering, which, by the way, is amazing. And if you haven't played it before, you totally fucking should.
I smell blood.
I'll get right on it.
And sometimes it's just because that's how they choose to socialize, but until you've taken the time to get to know why someone does something, do your best to withhold judgment. And it's not always about, I mean, we make judgments about people all the time. You know what? It happens, dude. It doesn't make you shit. But try your best not to judge people just because of a hobby they have or something they're into. Because you don't know the story behind that. That might be how they found social acceptance and learned to be okay with who they were. But you wouldn't know.
So many possibilities.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Dare summon me.
Is this really necessary?
First kill. A paltry task.
And you know, that's really all I want to talk about today. I think I'm gonna go pass out now. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, I really do. Or whenever you're watching this, have a good whatever it is, and I'll catch you on the flip side.